to another episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
Now, Mr. Magazine.
And I'm going to bring something other up because I do not know the answer to this, Mr. Magazine.
Okay.
Today, and I don't know if it's because of the change of the weather or what it is, I ended up with a pounding sinus headache today at my day job. And I was able to soldier through the day. But as soon as the day job got done, I went and I laid down, and I just didn't feel well. And I'm way behind on my packing. I don't know if you noticed when you came by or stuff or not, but I've got stuff on top of the computer that still needs to be packed and all that kind of thing.
Okay.
And it got me thinking, when's the last time you missed a day of work because you were sick?
Like, actually stayed home the whole day?
Yeah, did nothing, or maybe
No.
did an email or two.
If you take out vacations or my kids' travel sports and stuff, 15 years ago. Like I'm trying to think. Like, I must have had a surgery. I had a surgery one time because I had some stuff going on. I had a blood clot or this or that. Like, that would be the only reason. But for me, being sick and had the sniffles or something, never. I would always work through that. Definitely.
Yeah, and I did, I worked through my day job, and I did everything I needed to do except a few things finding and packing today. When I had COVID, I worked. I worked right through it as well. Barring being in a hospital, and even when I was in a hospital back 2000, whatever the heck it was, 10 years ago, whatever it was, I had the phone with me and I was answering emails and all that kind of stuff. Or going on vacation, as you said, or, whatever. Maybe when I went overseas with my wife to the Philippines, I had shut the store down and everything like that, but I still was getting emails. I still was occasionally getting an offer, and I just had to explain to people, hey, and that's one thing that I think a lot of people don't necessarily realize about this. There are people out there that have cushy day jobs like me, and I've got sick time. And I absolutely 100% could have taken today off sick. And I was considering doing it. Long story short, it's more of a rigmarole to take it off than it is just to work, because I get the appointment set up. People are expecting me. I said, something, I can soldier through it. And I did so on that over there. But I don't think people necessarily understand that aspect of things.
Yeah.
Now, if you've got the sniffles, as you so nicely put it, you're probably not at the top of your game.
Right.
But you're doing what has to be done.
Yeah.
It's not going to be the day that you all of a sudden say, I'm going to go list this rare piece of artwork that needs some, 100 pictures, and I got to do a perfect job of listing. You're going to put that off.
I'm going to take it lighter. Like today, I honestly moved over 100 boxes. It took me an hour to load them from the container to the truck, and I unload them at the shop. And I was actually tired. Usually I don't complain, but I was actually tired. I called my nephew who works. I said, "Can you come in early and help me load the truck?" It's just been enough for me. I was at the shop. But like a few weeks ago, my whole crew at the shop had COVID. So now I got to think, geez, do I have it? Maybe not feeling nothing. So then one night I had the chills. Like, I better test myself. I tested. I was fine. I didn't feel great, but I worked through it all. Obviously if I had COVID, I don't want to pass it along to my family or anyone else or employees, but I want to work, and I need to work. So it's it's a setback. If I don't work, it's costing me time and money. So I look at it that way.
Yeah, and that's something other that a lot of times people don't necessarily understand, especially if they're taking us on as a second career after they've gotten out of the corporate world. Because again, in the corporate world, you do get sick time, you do get time off. Not that a lot of us aren't. I hesitate to use this word because it's really not the right word, but aren't warriors within the corporate world as well.
Right.
I know very few people, like, I'm paid salary. I do not need to answer emails on my days off or if I'm sick. I do. Even when I had COVID, I had my work phone with me, even though I was not working. I had my work phone and I stayed on top of my emails. I don't have to do that. I certainly could just not do that. Right. But I did so. And that's just the way that I'm wired, and that's the way that a lot of the other people that I know are wired. You're still going to stay on top of it. I guess my theory on that is, I'm on vacation today, and you send me an email for my work, Or I'm on vacation and you send me an email for my for the eBay business. I still have to answer it at some point.
Right.
It's
If you're
not
doing
like
nothing. It's one thing if you're in the middle of something, if you're having dinner, out with friends or whatever, at a movie, or you're at a sale, whatever. Yeah, you don't have to answer then. But if you're just sitting around doing nothing, why not? I'm the same way. I give my cell number out to every customer. So if you're looking to sell something or send pictures, if I don't, I'll answer it 99 out of 100 times. If I don't, send me a picture, leave a message, I'll get back to you. So I don't mind. I had calls in the middle of the night. Just the way it is.
yeah, and again, and that's kind of what you got to do in the business is, nobody else is paying your bills. Your customers are paying your bills. You got to answer their questions. You got to send the product out. You've got certain time schedules that you absolutely need to make.
Right.
And that's not to say that there aren't excuses. There most certainly are excuses. If I remember the one time that I actually got in a little bit of trouble with Amazon for shipping things out late because flights home ended up getting delayed. I got home a day late. Some of my orders went out late beyond the 2 days that I was allocated. Enough of them did in a slow time of year that all of a sudden my percentage went up and my account was at risk.
Yeah.
I would say in that case, well, there isn't anything you can do because the item's sold already. Maybe mark them as shipped and then worry about it afterwards just to avoid cancel orders, do whatever you have to do in that case because obviously you can't be kicked off of Amazon at that point, not if you're counting on the money from it.
Right.
Family members get sick, family members go in the hospital, tragedy does happen and these things do happen. So we're not saying to completely avoid all of that. We're just saying that, well, we're saying to avoid it, but we're saying that you can't avoid it necessarily. But we're also saying that you just don't have the luxury of just laying around all day saying, oh, woe is me, I don't feel well. The work continues. Selling online is a 24/7 business.
Yeah, true.
Emails come in all the time, sales come in all the time, and all that. So even when you're not at your best, do what you can for it to pick things off now and then. You're just not feeling well, lay down. When you wake up and you have a little bit of energy, grab the phone. We've all got phones at this point, and answer the emails at that point. Even if all you're doing is telling people, I can't really look right now. Can you contact me back next Wednesday if they have a question about an item or something like that?
Right.
Because any response is better than no response in that case.
Sure.
So you're kind of putting the things off a little bit, but you're doing so for a good reason.
Yeah.
But I didn't think you would have taken a lot of days off. I certainly didn't think that you had. I mean, unfortunately, again, we all get sick.
Yeah, I might take a lighter day if I'm not 100% and leave it 3 instead of 5 or 6, but I'm always in there in the morning no matter what because I have to be.
Right, yeah, have to be, and I think that's absolutely key. Tomorrow morning is going to be brutal for me because I've got to get those things packed up and sent out, and I didn't find everything that I needed to find just because I laid down. Nothing you can do about it. I mean, I didn't feel well. Now I've got a little more energy. Do what you got to do. That happens from time to time.
Yeah.
But also, I knew this afternoon I wasn't feeling well, so like on my lunch break, I did find a few things around as well, saying even if I don't pack them up, I've at least got them prepared.
Right.
So tomorrow my job's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
So hopefully that helps you a little bit, gives you a little bit of an insight into reselling. Certainly if you are a reseller or a dedicated reseller, you know this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know at this point. Slow down a little on those days. You can't go 100% every single day. Those days maybe you do 70%, but you do what has to be done on those days.
Right.
If you're somebody thinking about getting into it, accept that those are the terms. That's what you need to do. You can't go and take a week off because you don't feel well without making other setting things up like your eBay on vacation or things like that. But if you have everything going and then you're not around for a week, you're going to end up with some really bad metrics on stuff. It could get kicked off of Amazon because you're not shipping out on time and the like. So there is a lot of responsibility. Obviously, take care of yourself first and foremost. I think we all would agree to that.
Yep.
But you're just not going to be laying around in bed with the like the old thing with the thermometer in your mouth and the thing on your head, like the old things.
Exactly.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You're not going to be doing that very often and being successful in business. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. Do hit the like button, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.